Hello, traders. Mike and Dale here to give you our impressions of what happened today after the CPI. How you doing, Mike? Big green day so far, but I have seen some things that normally would not have faded with the S&Ps up almost 40 at one time. Uh, one of them being the dollar sold off initially on it, and it's coming back. I thought the sell-off would be deeper. Things like Apple. Uh, not impressed. Still a broken stock. Things like Nvidia was up about $6. Look at that fade, bro.
Did you see the room? What I said in the room?
I missed it.
Don't worry about it. I'll put it after.
Okay. Because anyway, so not that great of a dollar break. Yen still heading up. Was not right about that. And, you're right. TLT still looks heavy to me, Mike. A pretty negative candle on what was supposed to be pretty good inflation news. So I think rates are there, and maybe the market's coming off because initially they thought maybe that would be enough for the Fed not to do something in September. I think they're going to hike again in September, mainly because unions are having their way with corporations, and you don't see any major strikes because they're settling with unions with pretty big pay increases, which makes inflation sticky. But what I'd like to know from you on this big opening here that we had, what have been the fades and which ones have held up despite a little bit of a give back in the S&Ps?
How many windows I have open? Get back. Give me a second. I got all these. Okay, so let me go to TradeGATEHub. I don't know why I have all these windows open. I'm trying. Oh, here it is. I have to maximize this. Okay.
All right, let me stop sharing.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So you know what I mean, Mike? What I'm saying is things that would have really continued to, rocket, met some selling on the sharply higher pop in the indexes.
It did, and you know what? I'm not going to go over it or go over everything because that's why I post. The plan was evident across this morning. We executed properly. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go to my screen afterwards, and I have another question. I answered Gerard's question about Illman. This is what I wanted to put out, Coach. The whole. I put out a lot of trades.
Yeah.
About what I was watching.
Wow.
Bottom line is this. Where did I say? The first trade I gave out was this. May take a short in AOI that worked. Short squeeze plug, not touching it. That was good. Yeti, see if it fades. It didn't. APP. This is it. Other than the ranges, okay. I gave what I was looking at for clues. Yeah. I don't think I was alone there. These were stocks that all I posted on TradeGATEHub this morning with, good range, price action, and volume. Upstart, obviously, this needs no introduction. Array, no driven, obviously. Docs, Twilo, a $7 range last night at $10 from pre to post earnings. So with that being said, is they opened, I got some of my money back. I wanted to also point out that I was long like Wayfair, and stock like Wayfair, I actually, where did it closed at 74? It went to 77.70, which was the high. And I wanted to point it out that even though it was a kind of contra trade, I'm just looking in for a smash and grab kind of thing. As I go here, yeah. One of my last posts was Wayfair was negative. So, you know what I mean? The first couple of minutes I was using for this with the VIX somewhat elevated to a degree that's arguable was a kind of a smash and grab market. But then when everything slowed down, I said, the shop calls work. TTD was a bad fade. You had to watch that. And it was right here. Just saying that. I was just saying that the ES is 30 handles higher, and yeah. and the Wayfair was lower than where I sold it. So in Wayfair, what went down $3 from that as the ES pulled back. So that was
Right.
also an idea of a stock going up and popping on either a short covering on little volume and coming back and continuing the day on bad volume, which yesterday was down on heavy. Everybody knows I trade the stock, or I should know I trade the stock. So I trade it. Another point is this. I always post my universe, CVS, a real man shorting Nevada to start here. And that was at 433.72. All right. Now why? Now let's go to Nevada. And that was a stock yesterday that was weak, had price action, range, and volume, as also a hangover with SMCI, which had a $100 range. So Nevada at 433.72, where was that? Right here.
Yeah.
All right. So why did I pick that price? Okay. So let's go to like a 6-minute chart. 433.72 is right here, basically. You know, if you could call this an intraday head and shoulders or whatever you want to do, but 433.72 was the short point. And it got to what, 430. I mean, you made whatever, you made $10-15, but it was the same with these stocks that were active yesterday. Twilo. Same. It was a gap up. They covered it. They ripped the shorts. This is stock closed at 59, went to 64. 2 days ago, you had to remember that the stock, this was 64. Actually, was that today 64? No, it was yesterday. Actually, that was 63.50. I apologize. So let's go to a 4-minute chart. What you wanted to do is after it broke yesterday's basic range, opening range, the opening range was between 63 and 62. So today when it broke the range of the low, which was what, 62.48, a stock with range, good volume, 62.40, you got your dollar. But you know what I mean? This is what you just got to stick and move a little bit. So the stocks that I've been playing on TGH were the same stocks that were hot yesterday. Upstart, Lyft, Riven, SMCI, Twilo, DraftKings. Just until, and this is the point I wanted to make. If you're going to ask the question, and probably will, Coach. As earnings winds down and these stocks that had reported like Docs, even Disney, let's go. I hope I'm sharing the same screen. Let's go to Disney that had the rip and then the dip, and it's yet to fake. It's yet to be determined. Disney closed at 87. All right, everybody that took the chance into earnings, it opened up at 90. The strike price pulled all the way back to basically unchanged. So that's what a stock like an Alcoa, Coach, where you wanted to have the good news. It's yet to be determined. It actually bounced back quite nicely. You wanted it to get out the weaker hands that have held. Now it actually looks okay. So people that bought Disney and it went back under the 50-day and they sold the news, now they got to rethink about maybe the news is out and maybe it finds some footing. It's yet
it looks okay.
But it's yet to be determined. My point is why Disney popped into my head is what I wanted to say. Is earnings wind down, it's easier to pick up on options and volumes after all the noise, before hedging, during the noise,
That's right.
Well, and then after, it's really after they settle down at some sort of range and back it up with the essential options that would go with that trend after the earnings were, that's really aware,
Right, because a lot of the option trades prior to earnings could be hedges and not directional
and a
bets.
perfect example were the refiners, Coach. They were taking huge option plays before, huge. They settled after, and now here they are. There's no surprise that PBF, anybody that follows it here, was the number one option flow for the past 3 months. Refiners have been. Anybody care to question? About anybody? Beg to differ, please. Don't waste your time. So with that being said, with the long-term picture,
I'd be lightening up on oils.
I'm going to, matter of fact, I'm not going to short an MPC. The old days, maybe I would. So this is what I look at an MPC, just for a trade. Yes, the RSI going back to, I don't know how long on the daily is elevated, but then I go back on the weekly. You know what I mean? It's really not that elevated. So you might say it's a good short here because the RSI still isn't at that high point when the stock is this elevated. Am I correct?
Yeah, but
Okay.
the prior chart showed it confirming the high. So this is the weekly's not confirming, but the daily is.
So what does that say?
I'm not going to fight the daily, because you could get a weekly signal and it could take a long time to develop, plus, you know, price moving against you for a while. You need to have some shorter term non-confirmations.
What I need,
Don't trade divergences off weeklies unless you really have deep pockets and can stand a market going 10% against you.
well, also a major lesson, a major reminder to myself, not only in this particular trade, but also going forward, Coach. And not to be dramatic, thank you.
But the one after looked more negative that you showed
PBF.
after this.
But what I want to do is, if I'm going to do this, which I'm not, I want to see a volume blowout. You know what I mean? I want to see.
Yeah.
And everybody say, okay, I've had enough for a little bit. Maybe we'll rethink the trade. Maybe what, 5% lower, 2-3% lower. But the other one I looked at to get to your question was PBF, and that's the one that had the most option flow. So it's MPC, it's Valero. You know what? But my point being with these refiners, and these had the backup after their numbers. You know, they hit. You know, they
Valero
hit.
did?
Valero had numbers the other day. Yeah.
Because of all the ones you've shown me, that's the weak
Valero
sister.
looks the most susceptible.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's had the weakest rally.
That is true. But you know what? If they keep going, it's that. I'm not. Listen, it's a good. This is a good. It's a good debate. For,
I think people are too bulled up on oils right now.
All right. Listen,
I could be wrong.
get it. I get it. I understand. I get it. There's Schlumberger. Look, it's a well. Alex pointed a good point to me over the Exxon over the 200 day was. I mean that one. If you want to, but listen, this is also a sector to where. It's almost like a Jim Cramer portfolio would act better if you have a time frame. Exxon's obviously the one. If you want an oil to put in there, correct? I mean, at least go by the chart. Not saying an oil has to be in your long-term portfolio, but you know that the one definitely looks best. Devon Energy had earnings the other day, hadn't absorbed anything. I don't want to spend too much on the oil sector.
Okay.
But my point being is, afterwards they have earnings. What it is? How about a Ribbon had earnings? All right, Ribbon.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Ribbon had earnings. I'm in it for the long term. Now let's think short, medium, and long term, if you will. It's good. It's a good example of what's been going on in the market, both short, medium, and long term. Okay. Had to pull back. Maybe people would argue it was extended. It had earnings yesterday. It tried to hang on yesterday. Yesterday's open. They basically ripped it at the open. So yesterday, if you wanted to get out on the stock, or even if you wanted to short it, regardless, yesterday's high was 25.70. Now it's 21.70. Okay, so now I'm looking at the long-term chart. I do want to enter it again. I'm not going to lie. Medium term, I'm looking at the gap right here, which would be what? 21.67. Okay, so even if I'm not right there, maybe I'm probably not going to be. It's only why I'm going to add a little bit to the position. But the tell-all is going to be in the 20s, the strike price in the 20. If it doesn't hold that gap, let's go to the weeklies. Coach, you're a better charter than me. But Ribbon is something that I'm looking for, both short, medium, and long-term trade. Okay. Let's see if the sweepers come back into it. That's more important. And some
what are the sweepers doing today?
They're going to go right now. But the sweepers have gone in it a little bit, but they've gone short term, which means maybe they're bagged a little bit long term. But if they can get a little cushion, maybe playing a bounce and take off exposure and take a little profit off, that will maybe lesser their cost basis, if you will.
Got it.
So let's go to sweepers. Okay, what are they doing today? Okay, let's go to my page. You share. Here are the sweepers. Now we got to go back a while now because let's go back to 10:50 a.m. That's not too much. It's only 11:15. All right. Market internals, the VIX, dash bearish. What are we looking at here? Saber rotation play. That's travel. Goose, seeing a retailer acting well with Capri takeover and TPR. I'm not saying they're in it to buy high expensive jackets, but I get why they're doing it, because there was a short squeeze in Capri. Do your own research if you haven't. I hope you would have already, because it's a major story. But I understand maybe these people buying Goose and cheap out of the money calls are seeing another short squeeze. It's heavily shorted. Let me go to the chart. I mean, it was a former ripper of two. I get why they're doing it. It's not like they're taking a position in Macy's and saying, you know what, since there's some good action in retail, let me try to pick Macy's, which was a dog. they're thinking if the retail sector is going to squeeze, they're certainly going to pick a stock that's squeezable, like a goose that was a weekly, that used to be 70, that's sitting here, right here. And you could see that these type of moves, boom, boom, it has the chance to make a squeeze if it wants to. So somebody's taking a shot in goose. Does that really do anything to me? No. I want to see some backing in some long-term trades, but I'm just telling you, if I see a goose, a play in goose with options, that's what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? It's like taking like airborne or something before you take a flight
How about the financials, Mike? Are they making
nothing.
any hay today?
No.
I saw Citi was up about $0.50. I don't know if it gave it back up, but I know there was some wise guy put buying when we talked Tuesday.
Yes, there was. We'll go to that in a second. I want to also say this, and I was aware this made me refocus my action today.
Some bearish action.
Hold on, but they're playing the majority of stocks. They're playing, coach, are not stocks. They're spies. Soxel. Sweeps don't seem to be excited out there, especially at the opening bell. You know what they've been running to is this, and our friend Rev pointed it out very well. Rev Shark. Where is he? This is it. It's very important I point this out. Where's the Rev? And you know what? When they were playing a lot of the ETFs, coach, it was right like this, the Rev. He's got a lot of it. Okay. 3-to-1 positive breath. CPI is not going down much. Where is it? It was a brilliant statement. It had to do about.
Yeah, instead of buying individual stocks, they're playing ETFs because they don't have conviction.
Okay, here it is. The NASDAQ Q's breadth is 98 gainers to 3 decliners, which tells us that it's index driven. So you know what? I also went to obviously I went to the sweepers, and I saw that they're playing Soxel and they're playing puts. And that made me that reinforced the fact that, maybe they are playing indexes, and I'm going to wait for my pivots in particular stocks predicated upon volume or some sort of. I want a reason. You know what I mean? I don't play.
Sure.
I don't play indexes because I don't play indexes. It's basically a coin flip. You're betting the market's going to go up or down. I get it. I like to play stocks predicated upon the marks going up or down. So what I see today is them playing the indexes. So I'm just looking for the same stocks I mentioned before, trading. I'm not taking a stand until I see sweepers coming back into some stocks. Disney calls above the ask in September. Okay, not bad. I get it. Not bad. But SPYs, EBIX, they're playing. Alto, they're not even playing anything sexy. WeWork, they're playing. WeWork, Mara, Riven, they're going into puts in December. I don't know what that's about. I'll have to do my research.
That's interesting.
It is an interesting. ANF, anti-VIX. That's why I said I needed a short a little while ago. They were a little overextended. Credit spreads have settled in. Let me make a point about credit spreads. I don't want to make this too difficult than it is, but as earnings wind down, like I said, I want to see sweepers come in. As of yet, credit conditions, coach, haven't really worsened, which tells me that so far this is somewhat of a healthy washout or pullback.
Okay.
So until and the spreads have settled in as well. So until I see until I see their problems in the credit markets, and I'm going by my research and my peers, I think this is somewhat of a healthy pullback. And maybe, look at the futures now. My God. All right. Look at that. What? I needed a short. They came in nicely. There's Nevada negative.
Yeah, see, I noticed that at first. I go, yeah, maybe Nevada was just corrective, but I noticed the selling coming in. It was up $7 on the opening.
I know it wasn't. I wanted the Coles. What's moving in? GDXJ, gold's not bouncing. ENVX, no. Fizzler negative. Coin was up again at that 88 number. SMCI, it does its own thing. BABA's still hanging in there. Look at, here's, by the way, BABA. Let me put up the BABA chart. I don't know if this relative strength holds, but this is what I call price action. when the market dips, the BABA would dip. But as the SPYs are going down, okay, BABA is showing positive price action. The SPYs are going the other way. BABA had earnings.
That's
Now,
interesting.
you know what? It almost is acting like a Disney, BABA, to a degree.
Yeah.
So let's keep, so in this, now when I see the market pull back here, and this is my SPYs, and here's the VIX, which by the way is still under yesterday's gap. I go to this, coach. I go to this screen. Very simple. And everybody, if they don't have this type of query, and I believe me, I have sexier ones, are at a disadvantage. Here we go. All right, let's look at percent losers in the last 15 minutes. All right, let's look. What's moving down? Upstart has huge volume. Obviously, it's nice. It's skewed, but good volume. NVAX, MRVI, AMC. That doesn't, what that tells me is there are no major names in this 15-minute pullback. Let's look what's going up in 15 minutes. All right, what's finding a bottom here? UVX, okay, CLSK, nothing. But now that tells me that there's nothing really sexy in the last 15 minutes. So I'm going to have to go to percent gainers in 60 minutes. All right, what's moving the best? UVIX. UVXY with good volume. Is there anything that's at AAOI? Of course, I'm in that. This thing won't go down still. Like, I should cover it. CLSK, what's good volume? FNG, VIX. So they're playing the Qs, SQQQs with huge volumes. They're playing the VIX. I don't see any big major stocks going up or down even the last 60 minutes.
They're hedging or getting short with that description.
I mean, there's nothing like it. There's nothing.
They're buying SQQQs, triple Qs.
Yeah, listen to all these stocks. Cold, it's an ETF for natural gas. TMV, an ETF. They're buying UVXY. They're buying VIXI, VIX, SARK, Disney. It should be in play because we mentioned it. Tandem, I get it. Estow, SOX. That's it. So listen, you got to see how. It's almost like the VIX yesterday, Coach. How it was acting. It was low, and then they decided to buy some more protection as the market got weaker. You'll see if the stocks follow stocks might cascade with these ETFs, or vice versa. I don't see these heavy ETFs, these stocks that are in these ETFs, Microsoft, Google, pulling back with the stocks or anything like. I don't know. It's very interesting.
All right. So where do you want to leave it?
I want to leave it at look at the NVX. Coach, I don't just trade until then, until everything settles down.
Yeah, the market had no conviction in the last 2 days.
Plug.
And we're basically a wash in 2 days. So all your stuff is saying that people don't know what to do stock specific, so they're trading ETFs.
Well, here's General Motors. Take a look at GM.
That looks pretty ugly.
Yeah, here's a look at Tesla. Someone holding in there. Roblox, same thing. Look at that one.
That's really ugly.
They gave people an 88 cent bounce today to get out.
Yeah.
Riven, the market's coming down now. Riven actually is not, well, you want to see what stocks are hanging in there. Crocs actually is hanging in. What's hanging in? Our oils? Banks hanging in. It was our Citibank, like you said before. Here's Citibank.
Yeah,
Citibank
still looks lousy.
It's going to bounce between a flag. There's going to be bad news. It's going to break. So that's going to happen.
It's going to take out the October lows.
So it's going to be. That's correct. It's going to do it.
So the point is there. Everyone's just worried about regional banks. They better worry about money centers too.
Yeah, they definitely better money about.
Jamie Dimon said that he's not happy about what the regulators are up to, and said that Powell should take another look at his model. That's Jamie Dimon.
No, he's the one that I listed. I mean, he's the most. I listen to some people. I listen to Leon Cooperman. I love that guy. I listen to Jamie Dimon. I listen to Mike Santoli. I listen to Kathy Wood, whether or not she's up or down. But here's another one, Coach. AU. I tried. I wanted AU. I'm hurting this GFI. It's a bad loser. I'm not going to lie. But AU, I took some profit on this morning. Closed at what? At 1817, and I sold it all at 1864. The low of the day was 1807, breaking new low. So I wound up taking 3% off it instead of be a loser. So I'm trying to put band-aids on cuts and to try to heal a bigger wound. That makes sense.
There may be a bounce in the PMs, but I still think we're a month away from an important low where I'll be buying them. So, you know, $20 silver, $1,800 gold, and that'll be predicated about with the dollar advance continuing. So, okay, great overview, bro.
Yeah.
So the market message is scalp. Don't make big commitments here because the markets, the players certainly aren't right now. And if anything, they're hedging. So, you know, you don't buy fire insurance because you hope your house will burn down.
But no, it's
Right.
true. Well put.
Yep. Anyway,
So the ones it's taking now, listen, the stock to be looking at this moment is the futures go down. Here's our chart on Disney.
yeah,
It's holding this opening range. The opening low is whatever here.
yeah.
Not whatever.
The way
89.
it came back was
It did
really
come back. It
impressive.
came back nice. So let's
Yeah.
Disney's and it's still taking
And the day still looked
proper
good.
call action. So
Yeah.
what this says to me, maybe it pulls back 50 cents and you're upset. Oh, I buy this dog. But I think maybe, I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow, but it's doing what it should be at the moment, considering going against the trend of the market. It has good positive price action in the earnings. It's above the 3 short-term moving averages, and it's taking sweeps going out to, you know, short-term to long, to even some medium to some longer term. Do I think it's a barn burner? No. But maybe Disney, maybe an example of Disney, maybe another barn burner example of what something should be doing. You know, Upstart was doing the same thing, and you know, Upstart was taking calls and had new. So my saying is, if you're not going to trade Disney, just it's simply, this is what we look for positive price action. You know, after earnings and during our
sweeps and sweeps backing it up.
Correct, Coach. You know how to articulate.
Yeah. Well, it was great talking to my my favorite stock picker out there.
Well, I appreciate it, Coach. It says a lot. You know what? Another one, this EMPH.
Yeah.
It had this dead cat bounce. I bought it, but this is, you know, this will show you that something like a sun run, or they tried to keep up that with that solar. Yes, array. They actually kept this array up too. You know what? That's another good chart. This array is acting well. This toast that had nice range yesterday acting kind of well. The market's having a little bit of a bounce here. So I wouldn't be doing much at 11:30 afternoon right now. I'd be doing more homework and be going over your video and maybe our video again on TradeGATEHub and looking at stocks just like I do here. Stocks that I'm looking at price, you know, some get the highlight, some get a blue pen, some get a red pen. I mean, I might be a boom, a Generation Xer, but it works. So I have several color pens. You know, I have this Baba. Let me just say this again, Coach. As the SPYs were down lower when I start this telecast a little bit,
yeah.
Baba was acting well and it kept going up. That's it. Disney, same thing. The market had a little pop in the last 5 minutes. Where's Disney? All right, there's the pop. 89.78. So you know what I mean?
I turned in my homework, but the wind blew it away.
No, the dog
fell out of my
Tony Pistachio ate it.
Yeah, my dog ate my homework. He's a very smart dog. Anyway, bro, good hunting the rest of the day. Good week. Thanks for your guidance in the room and all your great posts to give us insight on and look under the hood of the market every day.
Well, that's okay, Coach. I mean, you do it for so long. That's what that you're gonna figure it out. And we figured it out. You know, we don't make money every day, but we give ourselves the best edge. We know our tools and we know our plans and we know what we do best. If you're an Olympic swimmer, you might be the fastest world in the breaststroke, but you might not have to do the backstroke. You're still a swimmer and you're still good at what you do, but you might be that good one in that particular event. So learn your style. If you don't get on the TradeView Markets demo, and we'll gently walk you through it, and you'll eventually get to know it. You're not going to be short of ideas here on a variety of financial instruments, right or wrong. So that's what we do best.
Definitely.
Okay, thanks.
Don't just count your pips, count your blessings, everyone. Be happy that you have money to speculate with. You don't have to make a choice between medicine and rent. And I rest my case.
You got that, guys. Cheers.
All right, buddy. Take it easy, Mike.
AMD breaking low. Interesting. All right, cheers.
AMD under 110, look out.
It is. Watch Coach's video for the last 2 weeks. You know what he talked about. Cheers.